My fiancée accidentally texted me that she was only staying until I finished renovating her dad's apartment, so I saved the screenshot, sent it to her family, and watched her entire life fall apart. I, 27 male, was engaged to Brooke, 25 female, for 6 months together, for 3 years total, living together for the past year in this incredible apartment that belonged to her dad, Mr. Miller. The wedding was supposed to be in 2 months, $40,000 already spent, venue booked, invitation sent. I'd even bought her a $12,000 engagement ring because Princess Brooke deserved something that reflected her worth. Here's the thing about Brooke. She was born on third base and thought she hit a triple. Daddy's little princess who never heard no in her life. She was born on third base and still managed to argue with the ump about how unfair life is. Private schools, brand new BMW, for her 16th birthday, college paid for, then a job handed to her through daddy's connections. She had this way of expecting everyone to cater to her needs, while contributing absolutely nothing herself. Her mom, Cheryl, was a piece of work. Total mean girl who never grew up. The type who'd smile to your face, then trash you to anyone who'd listen. She hated me from day one because I wasn't some trust fund brat from their country club, made snide comments about my simple background, and would literally ignore me at family dinners. Brooke thought it was funny. Mom's just protective, she'd say. She'll warm up to you. 3 years later, Cheryl was still treating me like I was tracking mud through her precious daughter's life. But Mr. Miller was solid gold. This man took me under his wing, taught me everything about construction, project management, and helped me negotiate better contracts. We'd grab drinks and talk shop, and he treated me like the son he never had. When I asked for Brooke's hand in marriage, he actually got happy. You're exactly what she needs, he said. Someone with integrity who will keep her grounded. The apartment was his wedding gift to us. 2 years at $800 a month rent, when comparable places were $2,500. But it needed work. I spent 4 months and about $18,000 of my own money completely renovating it. New kitchen with custom cabinets, luxury vinyl plank flooring, completely gutted and retiled bathroom, fresh paint throughout. I did most of the work myself because I loved her and wanted our first home to be perfect. Brooke treated it like her personal HGTV show, always posting Instagram stories of my amazing fiancé renovating our dream home with hashtags like "Shocker Lucky Girl" and "He Spoils Me." My buddy Connor, who's known me since high school, kept making jokes about how I was being house-trained by Princess Brooke. Dude, you're doing all this work, and she's acting like you should be grateful for the privilege. He'd say, that's not normal, but I was blinded by wedding plans and thinking about our future. Big mistake. The signs were everywhere. She'd mentioned Brad from work constantly. Brad thinks we should try that new restaurant. Brad says I should ask for a promotion. Brad has such good taste in wine. Red flags the size of Texas that I ignored because I trusted her. She also got weird about her phone. Always face down. Always taking calls in other rooms. When I'd ask who she was texting, she'd get defensive. God, Liam, I'm allowed to have friends. Then there was her entitled attitude about everything. Wedding planning was a nightmare. Nothing was good enough. Everything had to be perfect. And somehow, every decision became about what other people would think. The flowers had to be imported peonies. The venue had to have valet parking. The dress had to be custom. Every conversation ended with, "It's my day, Liam." Our friend dynamic was toxic too. Her best friend Madison was basically Brooke 2.0, spoiled, entitled, and mean as hell. Madison would make comments like, "You're so lucky Brooke's marrying down. It shows she really loves you," and thought she was being funny. Brooke never defended me, just laughed along. Connor couldn't stand either of them. Madison looks like she eats poor people for breakfast, he told me once. And Brooke just sits there, letting her trash you. Tuesday morning changed everything. I'm having coffee before heading to the job site, checking weather reports because we had a major concrete pour scheduled when my phone buzzes. Text from Brooke. OMG, Brad was incredible last night. I can't believe Liam hasn't figured it out yet, but I have to wait until he finishes the apartment before I dump him. Dad would literally murder me if I broke up with him before the renovation is done. Plus, I need to figure out how to keep the ring. LAO. I read it twice. 3 years. 3 freaking years, plus 6 months engaged. My fiancée just speed ran, turning me from future husband to free contractor with a wallet. World record pace, honestly. Then I watched the message disappear. She was trying to unsend it, but my phone had already auto-backed up to the cloud. Screenshot saved. New message. Sorry, babe. Wrong chat. That was for Madison. Ignore that weirdness. LOL. Another message. My phone is being so glitchy today. Just ignore any random messages. But you can't unsee betrayal like that. You can't unknow that your fiancé was planning to dump you after using you for free renovation work while screwing some married guy from her office. Brad. I knew exactly who this piece of crap was. Some 35-year-old marketing director, married with 2 kids, drives a BMW. He definitely can't afford on his salary. Brooke had mentioned him constantly. Always work stuff. But now it all made sense. The late client dinners, the weekend, team-building events, the new lingerie she claimed was for our honeymoon. I sat there for 20 minutes just staring at that text. My entire future, the wedding, the house we were supposed to buy, the kids we talked about, all built on lies. But here's the thing about me. When someone screws me over, I don't get sad. I plan. I called in sick for the first time in 3 years and spent the day planning the most beautiful revenge in the history of cheating fiancés. I didn't pack my things and leave like some heartbroken beta. No, I had a wedding to cancel and a reputation to destroy. First step 1, cancel everything. I called every vendor, every venue, everyone involved in our $40,000 wedding fantasy. Cancellation fees were brutal. Lost about $15,000 total, but worth every penny to watch Brooke's dream wedding evaporate. Step 2, contact Brad's wife. This took some detective work, but Connor helped me find her Facebook profile. Sarah Brad, elementary school teacher, married to that piece of crap for 8 years, 2 kids under 10. I sent her a message with the screenshot. Hi, Sarah. I don't know you, but I think you deserve to know who your husband really is. I'm sorry you have to find out this way. She responded within an hour. Oh my God, I knew something was wrong. He's been working late constantly and acting so weird. Thank you for telling me. Step 3, forward everything to Mr. Miller. This man had been like a father to me. Invested in our relationship, paid for half the engagement party. He deserved to know his daughter was a liar and cheater. Email to Mr. Miller. I thought you should know what kind of person your daughter really is before you waste any more money on her wedding. The apartment renovation is complete. Thank you for treating me with respect. I'm sorry she couldn't do the same. Attach the screenshot and hit send. If I'm going to burn my life down, I'm at least making sure everyone gets to roast marshmallows on the way. Step 4. Document everything. I made copies of all our financial records, proof of what I'd spent on the apartment receipts for wedding expenses, everything. If this got ugly legally, I wanted ammunition. My phone started blowing up around 3:00 p.m. Brooke called 18 times before I finally answered. Liam, what the heck did you do? Her voice was raw panic, but I could hear the rage underneath. Princess wasn't used to consequences. I don't know what you mean, sweetheart. You ruined my life. Dad is furious. Brad's wife is calling him. The wedding venue called asking about cancellations. So you told your dad it was fake then, that you weren't actually cheating on your fiancé. Silence then. It wasn't supposed to happen like this. How was it supposed to happen, Brooke? You were going to dump me after using me for free labor and keep the ring I'd bought. That ring was a gift. Gifts can be returned. Speaking of which, I need it back. Screw you. I'm not giving you anything. We'll see about that. Don't contact me again. I hung up. Connor came over that evening with drinks and pizza. Dude, you're ice cold. I'm genuinely impressed. She wanted to play games. I just played better. What's next? Now we watch it all burn down. Within 2 hours of forwarding that text, Mr. Miller called me. Liam, can you meet me? We need to talk. We met at our usual spot and he looked completely destroyed. I owe you an apology. Sir, you don't owe me anything. Yes, I do. I raised her better than this. Or thought I did. He stirred his coffee with shaking hands. What she did to you, I'm ashamed. She's my daughter. Here's where it gets good. After getting my email, Mr. Miller didn't just confront Brooke, he went full investigator on his own daughter. I called my buddy who manages the Marriott downtown, asked him to check recent bookings under Brooke's name. The Marriott, of course, where Brad probably told his wife he was having client dinners. 12 times in the past 3 months, Liam. Always the same room. Always charged to a corporate credit card. 12 freaking times, while I was installing crown molding and planning our honeymoon. So I made some calls, found out Brad's been using company funds for these little adventures. His father-in-law is a VP at First National. We play golf together. Mr. Miller had destroyed Brad's entire life with 3 phone calls. Brad got fired within 24 hours. His wife filed for divorce and took the kids to her sister's house. But that's not all. Mr. Miller continued, his voice getting harder. I confronted Cheryl about this, asked if she knew anything about Brooke's behavior. Oh, snap, she laughed. Liam actually laughed and said, at least she's smart enough to have options. Turns out Cheryl had been encouraging this whole thing, telling Brooke she could do better than you. My jaw dropped. Wait, she knew. She was coaching Brooke on how to hide it. Told her to wait until after the wedding to leave you, because divorced women get better settlements than broken engagements. The betrayal was complete. Not just Brooke, but her toxic mother had been actively sabotaging our relationship while smiling to my face at family dinners. Mr. Miller said quietly, 2 years of marriage, and I find out my wife thought infidelity was a strategy. The collateral damage was spreading. Brooke's selfishness hadn't just destroyed our relationship, it had nuked her parents' marriage and her affair partner's entire life. There's one more thing, Mr. Miller said. I need you to move back into the apartment. Sir Brooke's been staying there since this happened, acting like she's the victim. I want her out tonight, and I want you back in there. Same rent agreement. You earned that place, honestly. Best revenge ever. Moving back into the apartment was psychological warfare at its finest. Brooke had been living there for 3 days, probably thinking she'd won some kind of victory by keeping her place. When she came home Thursday evening to find me on the couch watching TV, she lost her absolute crap. What the hell are you doing here? I live here. Your dad asked me to move back in. This is my apartment. Actually, it's your dad's apartment, and he's decided you don't live here anymore. She was shaking with rage, still wearing her work clothes. You can't just kick me out. I'm not kicking you out. Your dad is. I'm just moving back into the place I renovated with my own money. That's when I noticed the ring wasn't on her finger anymore. Where's my ring, Brooke? What ring? She tried to hide her left hand behind her back like a guilty child. The $12,000 engagement ring I bought. That was a gift. You can't take back gifts. Connor, who was helping me move stuff back in, started laughing. Dude, she really thinks she gets to keep the ring after cheating. Wow. Screw you, Connor. Brooke spun on him. This is none of your business. Actually, it became my business when you made my friend look like an idiot for 3 years. And screw you too. The ring, Brooke. Now. No. I deserve something after what you've put me through. What I've put you through. You cheated on me with a married man and planned to dump me after I finished your free renovation. That's when Madison showed up. Of course, Brooke's entitled best friend, probably there to provide moral support for the victim routine. Brooke. Babe, you don't have to deal with this, Madison said, shooting me a look of pure disgust. He's clearly having some kind of breakdown. Madison, stay out of this, I said calmly. Your friend is a cheating liar, and she's returning my property. How dare you talk to me like that? Madison got in my face like she was going to do something. Brooke made a mistake, but you're being vindictive and cruel. Connor stepped up behind me. Lady, your friend screwed a married man for 3 months while planning her wedding to someone else. That's not a mistake. The truth was hitting Madison for the first time. She looked at Brooke confused. Wait, what? Brooke's mask slipped completely. Madison, don't listen to them. They're trying to make me look bad. Brooke, Madison said slowly. Did you cheat? Silence. With Brad, that married guy from work? More silence. Madison stepped back from her best friend like she was contagious. Oh my God, you did. You actually did. It wasn't supposed to happen. I was confused. Confused, I yelled, losing my cool for the first time. You texted your friend about keeping my ring after dumping me. You planned this whole thing. That's when Brooke went full victim mode. Started crying. I made a mistake. People make mistakes. You're supposed to love me. Fight for me. I did love you. I loved someone who doesn't exist. You're destroying my life over one stupid mistake. Connor snorted. 12 hotel visits isn't one mistake, Princess. That's a whole relationship. Shut up, Connor. Nah, I'm good. Madison was backing toward the door. Brooke, I can't. I need to go. This is insane. And just like that, Brooke lost her best friend, too. Madison had finally seen who Brooke really was underneath all the designer clothes and Daddy's money. After Madison left, Brooke tried one more manipulation tactic. Fine, you want the ring so badly? Here! She threw it at me as hard as she could, hit me in the chest, and bounced onto the hardwood floor I'd installed myself. There. Are you happy now? You've taken everything from me? I didn't take anything. You threw it all away for some married dick. She grabbed her purse and stormed toward the door, then turned back with pure venom in her eyes. I'll make you regret this. Looking forward to it. After she left, Connor and I cracked open drinks and surveyed the apartment. It felt different now, like reclaiming territory that was rightfully mine. Dude, she's going to go nuclear, Connor said. Girls like that don't handle rejection well. Let her try? My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. Probably Brooke using someone else's phone since I'd blocked her. You haven't seen crazy yet. I'm going to destroy you like you destroyed me. I showed Connor the text. He just shook his head. Famous last words of every psycho ex. This is going to be fun to watch. He was right. Brooke's public breakdown was about to become legendary. Her first move was trying to get me fired, because of course it was. Monday morning, I'm on a job site downtown when security calls my radio. Liam, there's a woman at the main office demanding to speak to your boss. Says it's urgent regarding your character. My stomach dropped. Blonde looks like she shops at Nordstrom and drives a BMW. That's the one. Don't let her pass the lobby. I'll be right there. I drove to the office fast, but I wanted to control this narrative before Brooke could spin her lies. Found her in the reception area, wearing her professional victim outfit, conservative dress hair in a bun. She was talking to our receptionist like they were best friends. I'm just so worried about him. She was saying the breakup has really affected his mental state. I think he might be dangerous. Brooke, my voice cut across the lobby. What the hell are you doing here? She turned on the waterworks immediately. Liam, thank God, I've been so worried about you. Ma'am, you need to leave now. I can't leave knowing you're telling people lies about me. I need to speak to someone in charge. That's when my boss Tom came downstairs. He'd heard the commotion and wanted to see what was happening. Is there a problem here? Brooke immediately switched into performance mode. Yes, sir. I'm Liam's ex-fiancée, and I'm concerned about his mental state since our breakup. He's been spreading lies about me harassing my family, and I'm worried about what he might do. Tom looked at me, then back at Brooke. Ma'am, I've worked with Liam for 4 years. He's one of our most reliable employees. What exactly are you claiming he's done? He cancelled our wedding without telling me, turned my father against me, and he's telling people I cheated when I never did. I think he's having some kind of breakdown. The lies were flowing so smoothly. I almost admired the performance. Almost. Tom, who's been managing people for 20 years, could smell crap from orbit. Ma'am, I'm going to need you to leave our property. If you have concerns about harassment, contact the police. You don't understand. He's dangerous. He could hurt someone. Security. Tom called over his radio. Please escort this woman off the property. As security walked Brooke out, she turned back and screamed, This isn't over. I'll make sure everyone knows what kind of man you really are. The entire lobby went silent. Tom shook his head and looked at me. 4 years, he said. Never seen you lose your temper. Never had a complaint about your character. Whatever's going on with your ex, we've got your back. But she wasn't done. That afternoon, she posted a Facebook rant that was pure art. When someone shows you who they really are, believe them. I'm learning that some people can't handle being loved by someone out of their league. It's heartbreaking to watch someone you cared about destroy themselves with jealousy. I'm choosing to focus on healing and surrounding myself with people who celebrate my success, instead of trying to tear me down. Know your worth. Toxic masculinity. She tagged everyone, My sister, my co-workers, mutual friends. The comments were predictable from her remaining enablers. You're so strong, babe. His loss. Men can't handle successful women. But Connor. Bless his soul, commented. This is hilarious. Please tell us more about how cheating with married men counts as success. That comment got 50 likes before Brooke deleted the entire post. Wednesday, she escalated, showed up at Connor's construction site and tried to get him fired too. Your employee is harassing me online and spreading lies about my character, she told his foreman. Connor's boss is ex-military and doesn't play games. Ma'am, you have about 10 seconds to get off my site before I call the cops. But he's 10 seconds. Brooke left, but not before screaming at Connor in front of his entire crew. You're just as pathetic as he is. Connor texted me immediately. Dude, your ex just tried to get me fired. This has completely lost it. That evening, Brooke posted another Instagram story, claiming she was being stalked and threatened by multiple men and was considering legal action. The desperation was beautiful to watch. Every move she made just destroyed her credibility further. But her masterpiece was still coming. By Thursday, the Miller family nuclear war was in full swing, and Brooke was losing on every front. Mr. Miller called me that morning. Can you meet me? There's been some developments. We met at our usual diner, and he looked like he'd been through hell. I filed for divorce yesterday, he said without preamble. 2 years of marriage down the drain because my wife thought infidelity was a strategy. Here's what happened. After Cheryl laughed about Brooke having options, Mr. Miller started digging deeper. Turns out Cheryl hadn't just known about the affair. She'd been actively coaching Brooke on how to manage it. Cheryl told her to string you along until after the wedding, then file for divorce and take half of everything you'd build together. Said divorced women get better settlements than broken engagements. The calculation was sickening. They'd planned to let me pay for a wedding, renovate their apartment, then divorce me and take half my assets. Cheryl also knew about Brad's wife and kids. Didn't care. Told Brooke that a marriage is just paperwork, and she should get what she can out of both relationships. Mr. Miller's voice was getting harder as he talked. My wife encouraged our daughter to destroy 2 families for her own entertainment. I can't live with someone like that, but it gets better. Cheryl was so confident in their plan that she'd been bragging about it to her book club friends. My Brooke's got 2 men competing for her attention. That's how you know you raised a daughter, right? One of those book club friends happened to be married to Mr. Miller's golf buddy, who told him everything. The whole social circle knew Liam. They were all watching you play the fool, while my wife and daughter laughed about it behind your back. The humiliation was complete, but so was the justice. Cheryl's reputation at the country club was destroyed. Half her book club friends stopped talking to her when they realized what kind of person she really was. Cheryl's staying at her sister's place now, Mr. Miller continued. Brooke tried to move back in with her, but apparently even Cheryl has limits. She kicked Brooke out after 2 days. Where's Brooke staying now? Some extended stay motel, on the highway, living off credit cards and daddy's guilt money. He paused, which I cut off yesterday. Mr. Miller had frozen Brooke's credit cards, removed her from his bank accounts, and stopped paying her car insurance. Princess was about to learn what the real world felt like. She showed up at my office yesterday screaming about how I'd chosen you over my own daughter. Made such a scene that security had to escort her out. That afternoon, my phone rang from an unknown number. I answered. Liam, you need to call my dad right now. Brooke was crying hysterically. He cut off my cards. I can't afford food. This is all your fault. Your dad cut you off because you're a lying, cheating sociopath. That's not my fault. I made one mistake. One stupid mistake, and everyone's treating me like a criminal. 12 hotel visits isn't one mistake, Brooke, and planning to divorce me after I paid for our wedding isn't a mistake. It's fraud. I never said that. Well, your mom did to her entire book club. Silence. Then you don't understand the pressure I was under. Mom said I don't give a crap what your mother said. You're an adult who made adult choices. Deal with adult consequences. Please, Liam. I'm broke. I don't have anywhere to go. Figure it out. You're good at manipulating people. I'm sure you'll find someone else to use. I hung up and blocked that number too. Friday evening, Connor and I were having drinks on the apartment balcony when we heard a commotion in the parking lot below. Brooke was standing next to her BMW, screaming at someone on her phone. "I don't care what Dad said. This is my apartment too. I have rights." We watched her stomp around the parking lot for 10 minutes, yelling at various people on the phone. Finally, she looked up and saw us on the balcony. "Liam, get the hell down here. We need to talk." I raised my drink in a mock toast. "No thanks, enjoying the view. You can't hide up there forever." "I'm not hiding, Brooke. I'm living in my apartment that I renovated with my own money." She lost her crap completely, started screaming obscenities, throwing things from her car, making a complete spectacle of herself. Other residents came out to watch the show. Mrs. Rodriguez from 3B called building security. "There's a woman having a mental breakdown in the parking lot." Security arrived and asked Brooke to leave. She tried to claim she lived there, but they checked with the building manager and confirmed she'd been removed from the lease. "Ma'am, you're trespassing. You need to leave now or we'll call the police." "Fine, but I'm calling my lawyer." As she drove away, Connor shook his head. "Dude, she really thinks she's the victim in all this. Entitlement is a hell of a drug." Monday morning, I got served with papers at work. Brooke was suing me for breach of promise to marry and demanding $50,000 in damages for emotional distress and financial hardship caused by abandonment. Connor read the lawsuit over my shoulder. "Holy, she's actually trying to sue you for dumping her after she cheated. That's impressive. But I wasn't worried. I had screenshots, witnesses, and the best lawyer Daddy's money couldn't buy anymore." This was about to get really fun. Brooke's lawsuit was the most delusional document I'd ever read. Her lawyer, some ambulance chaser she'd found on Google, was claiming I'd intentionally inflicted emotional distress by ending our engagement without cause. According to the filing, I had abandoned her without warning, spread false rumors about her character, conspired with her father to make her homeless, caused her to lose income due to emotional trauma, violated her privacy by sharing private communications. The $50,000 demand was broken down as $12,000 for the engagement ring, which I'd already taken back $15,000 for wedding expenses, that I'd paid for $23,000 for future earnings lost due to emotional distress. Connor nearly choked laughing when he read it. "She wants you to pay her for cheating on you. The balls on this chick are legendary." My lawyer David was a family law specialist who'd handled Connor's cousin's messy divorce. He took one look at Brooke's filing and started grinning. "This is the worst lawsuit I've seen in 15 years, he said. "Can she actually win anything? Not a chance. But we're going to make this so painful for her that she'll never try something this stupid again." David's countersuit was a work of art. We sued Brooke for return of all money I'd spent on wedding expenses, $15,000. Reimbursement for apartment renovation costs $18,000. Legal fees and court costs, intentional infliction of emotional distress. But the real killer was David's discovery process. See, when you sue someone, they get to request all your communications, financial records, everything. Brooke's lawyer had opened Pandora's box. Within a week, we had all her text messages with Brad. Extremely graphic. All her text messages with her friends about managing me. All her communications with her mother about the divorce plan. Her credit card records showing hotel charges. Her work emails using company resources to coordinate affairs. The evidence was devastating. Not just the affair, but the calculated nature of it. Screenshots of her laughing about my pathetic renovation work while planning to dump me. Messages about keeping the ring and bleeding him dry in the divorce. But my favorite was a text to her mom. "I can't wait to see his face when I serve him papers at work. He thinks he's so smart, but I'm about to take him for everything he's worth." Connor was helping me organize evidence when he found that gem. Dude, she literally documented her entire plan to screw you over. It's like she wanted to get caught. Narcissists always think they're smarter than everyone else. The preliminary hearing was scheduled for 3 weeks later. In the meantime, Brooke's public breakdown was accelerating. She'd been posting increasingly unhinged social media rants about corrupt lawyers and men who can't handle strong women. But the comments were turning against her. People were starting to figure out that her story didn't add up. Madison had apparently grown a conscience and was telling people the truth about what really happened. Word was spreading through our old social circle about Brooke's affair and lawsuit. Her work situation was getting messy too. Brad's firing had created drama at their marketing firm, and everyone knew Brooke was involved. Her boss couldn't fire her without cause, but he could make her life miserable. She got moved to the worst projects and excluded from client meetings. 2 weeks before the hearing, Brooke made her biggest mistake yet. She showed up at my job site again. This time she didn't try to be subtle. She parked right in front of the construction trailer and started honking her horn at 6 a.m., screaming for me to come out and face her like a man. My entire crew gathered to watch the show. She was still in her pajamas, hair unwashed, looking like she hadn't slept in days. "Liam, I know you're hiding." "Dave." My foreman shook his head. "This chick has completely lost it." I walked out of the trailer slowly. "Brooke, you need to leave. There's a restraining order hearing next week, and this isn't helping your case. Restraining order. I'm not the crazy one. You're the one who destroyed my life." She was screaming so loud that workers from other job sites were coming over to watch. Someone was definitely recording this on their phone. "This is your final warning, Brooke. Leave now or I'm calling the police. Call them. I don't care. I'll tell them how you stole my ring and ruined my family." I pulled out my phone and dialed 911. She saw me doing it and completely lost her cool. "Fine, but everyone's going to know what you did to me. Everyone." She got back in her BMW and peeled out of the parking lot tires, squealing. Connor jogged over from his site across the street. "Dude, she just gave you everything you need for the restraining order." That evening, Brooke posted a Facebook Live video that went viral in our social circle. 23 minutes of her crying in her motel room, talking about how I'd abused her and turned everyone against her. The comments were brutal. Even people who'd been neutral were calling her out for the obvious lies and manipulative behavior. But the best part was when she accidentally showed her laptop screen, which had a Google search for how to win a lawsuit against ex-fiancé. And can you sue someone for emotional abuse? Connor screen recorded the whole thing and sent it to David. Evidence for the crazy pile, he wrote. 3 days later, we were in court, and Brooke was about to learn what real consequences felt like. The courthouse hearing was everything I'd hoped for, and more. Brooke showed up looking like she'd gotten dressed in the dark. Wrinkled blazer, mismatched shoes, hair that clearly hadn't seen a professional in weeks. Her Google lawyer looked like he wanted to be anywhere else. Meanwhile, I was in my best suit with David, who'd prepared a presentation that would have made PowerPoint proud. Judge Harrison read through the case summary with increasing disbelief. "Ms. Miller, you're suing your ex-fiancé for emotional distress after conducting a 3-month affair with a married man." Brooke's lawyer stood up. "Your Honor, my client made an error in judgment, but that doesn't give the defendant the right to sit down." Judge Harrison cut him off. "I'm talking to your client." Brooke stood up, trying to look dignified. "Your Honor, I made a mistake, but Liam's reaction was completely disproportionate. He destroyed my relationship with my family, got me kicked out of my home, and did you or did you not send a text message to a friend stating you plan to dump the plaintiff after he finished renovating your apartment?" "Silence, Your Honor." David stood up. "We have documented evidence that Ms. Miller conducted a calculated affair while planning to commit what amounts to fraud against my client." David's presentation was devastating. Screenshots of Brooke's texts, hotel records, witness statements from Madison, who'd agreed to testify, and financial records showing the scope of her deception. But the killing blow was the security footage from my job site, showing Brooke's public meltdown 3 days earlier. The footage played on the courtroom monitor. Brooke screaming in her pajamas, threatening to destroy me, making a complete spectacle of herself while I remained calm and professional. The judge watched the whole thing with disgust. "Ms. Miller, this behavior is unacceptable. I was upset. He stole my life. You ruined your own life when you decided to cheat on your fiancé and planned to defraud him." Mr. Hudson's response was entirely reasonable. The judgment was swift and brutal. Brooke's lawsuit was dismissed with prejudice. She was ordered to pay my legal fees, $8,500. She was ordered to reimburse me for wedding expenses, $15,000. A permanent restraining order was issued, 500 yards minimum distance. She was ordered to undergo counseling for pattern of manipulative behavior. Total judgment against Brooke, $23,500. Brooke completely broke down, started sobbing about how everyone had turned against her and she had nowhere to go. Zero sympathy from anyone in that courtroom. As we left, David shook my hand. That was beautiful. She'll be paying this judgment for years. The aftermath was swift and satisfying. Within a week, Brooke's employer fired her for creating a hostile work environment. The affair scandal had made working there impossible. Her extended stay motel kicked her out for non-payment. Cheryl filed for bankruptcy after the divorce settlement. Mr. Miller sold the apartment building and moved to Florida. But the best part was watching Brooke's social media presence completely collapse. Her final posts were increasingly desperate pleas for sympathy that got zero engagement. Eventually, she deleted all her accounts. Connor heard through the grapevine that she'd moved back to her hometown, living with an aunt, and working at a call center. Brad, last I heard, was working at Best Buy and living in a studio apartment. Meanwhile, my life got exponentially better. The job promotion I'd been hoping for came through. Senior project manager with a $20,000 raise, or used part of Brooke's judgment money to buy a house in a nice neighborhood. Mr. Miller and I still talk occasionally. He's doing well in Florida, dating a widow who treats him with actual respect. Best decision I ever made, he said about the divorce. Should have done it years ago. Last week, Connor sent me a screenshot from Madison's Instagram. Apparently, Brooke had tried to reconnect with her old friend group, claiming she'd learned from her mistakes and wanted to rebuild her life. Madison's response was posted publicly. Some mistakes can't be forgiven. What you did to Liam and Brad's family was evil, not just stupid. Don't contact me again. Looking back, I'm actually grateful for that text message. Without it, I might have married Brooke and spent years being used by her. Sometimes the best revenge is just letting toxic people destroy themselves while you build something your own.